Oh, we are live. Fantastic. Welcome, everyone, to Better Life Solutions. I'm Alex Nish, and I'm here with Kat Smith, who just joined our group last week. And just something in me went, oh, I really need to speak to this lady live. So here we are today. I'm going to ask Kat some questions. We're going to get to know her a little bit and have some fun. So, welcome, Kat.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I feel like it's just magic and divine timing that I get to sit here with you. So thank you for all the magic and the
I
reaching
love
out.
that. I love that
Mm,
divine timing. It's beautiful.
Amazing.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, sure. Oof. You stop me if I talk too much, okay? Because I might get on a
Sure.
roll. Well, let's see. So I have been life coaching now, like as a generic term, for maybe about 6 years. And it's been, I think, as most life coaches would agree, it's been a journey of my own self-discovery and integrating my own learnings into what I'm teaching over and over and over again, to the point now where I run a program called Guided Open, which is about opening to the truth of who you really are. Yeah, it's my life's work. We work through the seven keys to opening in a really safe and sacred space.
Beautiful.
So yeah, that is my main thing. But I also am a huge lover and medicine woman with the medicine of cacao. We drink her in my program, and
Mm-hmm.
I also I have waves of running events as well, and yeah, just kicked off a summer event inspiration. So
Nice.
yeah, so
So
events and
I,
cacao and sorry.
I have some cacao here, which I brewed especially for this conversation.
Yes.
And I'm sure everyone would love to know, what is a cacao ceremony?
Great question. So I have mine too. Look, and actually, I had this dear friend make these
Oh,
beautiful mugs for me. I have a
I
whole
love it.
matching set of them. So, yeah, what is the
Beautiful.
cacao ceremony? So, cacao, yeah, you people may not know that
Mm.
cacao is like it's the original. Um, it's chocolate. I mean, it's chocolate. Let's not get too serious. But it's the original form of chocolate. So as you can imagine now, with all things being so processed, you buy a bar of chocolate, it's the flavor of chocolate and what we're used to knowing as chocolate. But the actual plant itself is a tropical plant. It's like a
Mm.
mango. It's got seeds inside, and um, there's an original. I guess what's happened over the years is the whole chocolate industry has made it as profitable as possible, right? It's pretty simple. So cacao is the rawest original chocolate. And so what that means is that, first of all, it doesn't taste terribly much like chocolate unless you sweeten it a whole lot. It's very bitter, very like almost medicinal tasting, and it has all these beautiful magical ingredients in it, um, that get sort of burnt out and produced out of what we know as chocolate. So it's a tropical plant with a lot of love and magic. It has some specific. I I could go through. I'm like, oh, do I use naturopath words? The long and the short of it is, it has two main beautiful chemicals that I refer to as the love chemical and the bliss chemical. So
I
yeah,
love
it
that.
really, it's like, if you want, like, the other word that I would use is like, it's vasodilating and like
Mm.
ecstatic, it gives us a feeling of ecstasy. So
Yes.
yeah, we get to really feel, when we drink cacao, we get to really feel open and yeah, and just and loving
Yeah.
and it's oh, honestly. And then so the process of a cacao ceremony, I mean, it's a really open process. Cacao, what's happened for me is that I sat with cacao, I'm going to say nearly 4 years ago now, for the first time, and she spoke to me. and she guided me. She was like, just opened me to all these possibilities. The truth is, there's no lineage, no historical ancient lineage to cacao ceremony. So it is whatever comes through for you. And one of my teachers loves to say, cacao is good with everything. So for me, I'm really about music and about voice and about sound healing. And so in my cacao ceremonies, we ceremonially invite cacao and the spirit of cacao into the space. And then we play with sound and love and all things beautiful and healing.
That is beautiful, because it's such a warm and inviting, I'm going to say, tonic. So to be able to incorporate that with other healings, it's just such a beautiful thing.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing that it doesn't go with. And actually, one of the very first things that really shifted my world, I'd love to share with you, is drinking cacao instead of coffee.
Yes.
Coffee is so, I mean, I want to say masculine and focus and mind kind of stimulating. It's quite, I found it, I was an absolute coffee addict, and I found it quite easy to switch over. And I've started to refer to, and I've heard other people do this as well, caffeine is for the mind, but cacao is for the heart. So it has that same kind of rushy, beautiful, go sometimes about it, but it's heart opening rather than,
Yes.
and it's completely
nurturing.
changed the frequency of my life. When you get up every day and you have a routine of focus and push and hustle and hurry and all of that stuff, versus the more feminine aspects.
Which is sitting back and allowing and being in flow and your creative energy. And I imagine, trusting, yes. And with a ceremony like this and being able to use it with other healing tools, it really is allowing for that flow and that creativity to come through, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. The other thing they say about it is it's the medicine of getting out of your own way. And I
love that.
really resonate with that. When you can drop into a space and just really be guided by heart instead of what I should and think I must be doing. Just the flow, that ease and flow, that point of the weight being in flow state, cacao just opens us to that.
Yeah.
Game changer.
Yes. And, so there's hot chocolate and there's cacao, right? So as you said before, it's in its natural, probably the most purest form that we can get. So where do you recommend for people to go and source their cacao?
So my very, very favorite, and that I sell as well, comes from a Guatemalan company. The guy there is Keith, and they call him the chocolate shaman. He actually coined the terminology around cacao as ceremony. He was the original guidance of that. And it's so I traveled the world for a whole year and landed in different cacao ceremonies it was just pure magic. And this is what I landed with. I feel like when I introduce people to cacao, when they've been drinking to Keith's, when they've been drinking other cacao, they always notice that it's two things for me. I feel like there have been tests to say it has higher active constituents, like all of the goodies in there are at a higher level. But also Keith grows it with love, and he gives it back to the community. And it's like all of the villages where he lives are all involved and looked after by his business. And he blesses every block on its way out of the door.
Wow.
So I don't know about you. That means something to me.
Yes.
You can feel the love in it. So cacao. And I guess something that always people ask, you may have been about to ask me this, but as long as you're getting pure ceremonial grade cacao, then you're winning, then you're on the right side at least. There's a lot of cacaos, whenever, with any of the processing, so powdered cacao, or even when it comes in buttons, or like any way that you can see that it's been processed, then it loses each process, lose its magic. So that's just a thing to keep in mind. If lots of people say, can I just bring the organic cacao from the health food store? You can do whatever you want. but you're not going to have the same experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to know that it is, ethically and sustainably, sourced and grown with love, and the people who, are all connected through that are all treated with love as well. Like that's such a massive thing in this day and age, isn't it?
Yeah. I feel like it makes a difference to the experience of drinking it. If you've got someone rushing around and not feeling, I don't know, this is me being a total light worker. It's the intention of the medicine. Whatever is anything we're consuming, has it been grown with love? Like the frequency of that love comes into our beings. That's my truth.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel
so
that
important.
with you.
Yeah, that's great. Cool. And you're going to share your links with us later on as well, so people will be able to find that through you, which is awesome.
Sure.
So I also know that you do some human design.
Yes, I do.
Is that right?
I wondered if you'd ask.
So tell us about that.
Yeah. I've been on a really deep, big human design journey the last couple of years. I actually was blessed to meet my beloved a couple of years ago, almost 2 years ago now, at a breathwork retreat. And he was just in the throes of diving deeply into the human design experiment. So the reason that that's important for me to say that to you is that he is the investigator of the relationship. If like my body graph does not really care about the details of something like human design. So I'm so blessed that I got to learn it through his experience. So I have been following and deep diving and experimenting and sharing now. Just the last few months really started to share and realize the potency of what is it's mind-blowing. It's completely mind-blowing. Human design is, I'll keep it really simple for the very beginners. It really is about learning to understand your specific energetics and how you can drive your machine, your energy being, so that you can have the least resistance in your life. And I could talk about it for hours, but also you can see I get a bit like, I can't even believe it exists. Like I can't even, it's like, it is a map of the Maya. It's something that, like it's built off of our DNA. Like it's really is just, it's physical truth. And the other thing that's just really important is it's for everybody to experiment with in their own way, because we're all vastly unique. And, all I can really share is that it's been absolutely massive for me. Massive. Never felt so relaxed and peaceful. Never, my whole life.
Wow.
And some of it's like the mind would never have allowed me to know that about myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so for those who don't know, I guess you could call it similar to like a profiling tool, except that it's very energetic. So it's like energetic mapping of the body, right? So the way you do things, like resisting things, like you said before, and being able to sit in your power and use your power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the most beautiful things that I have that impacts me, that makes my value worth giving, is that there are so we all have the very basic level of human design is that we all have a different aura type. So the difference between regular aura that we might know in the love and light spiritual world and human design aura is that the human design aura includes the physical body. And so there are 4 main physical body plus energetic body types. And some of them are really unique and rare. Most people are what are called generators. They're about 70%.
I'm a generator.
You are?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm a manifestor. So I'm 8% of the population. I've had a huge journey in my own realization. Just that meant that I grew up feeling just so different, and like I would never fit in, and the whole world was doing stuff I didn't understand. And that's you can imagine, like I lived with that I'm 40 now. I lived with that for like 38 years, and just having to condition myself to fit into a generator world. And so for me, I feel so overwhelmed with joy when people have that similar experience to me, where they're like, oh my gosh, it's actually true that I'm very different, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's okay. We all are. I mean,
Yes.
generators are alike, even all the generators, we are all, this is like a map of how unique and special and amazing. And then we can hone our skills, our real skills. It's like, we all know that we grew up being conditioned, right? To be and behave and respond in a certain way. To learn how we could have been treated, how we can treat ourselves now, and what is the actual truth of the way that we can run our lives. And just acceptance. It's just love and acceptance on a whole nother level.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad you brought up the terms love and acceptance, because I really want to know from you, what does self-love mean to you? What does that look like, feel like, sound like?
You're going to make me cry. Well, for me, I am of the belief that everything is love. Everything. And actually, one of my funny sayings from my inner circle I'll share with you is that life is just love, making love to itself.
That's beautiful.
And so when there's a disconnection from ourselves, and so we're not really getting that we are love, then that's what I call conditioning. And I'm so one of the words that I say all the time is like, it's about deconditioning. And deconditioning is about shedding the layers that we're not, so that we can remember that actually we're love.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the tools that I use to come back to my love consistently, obviously, because we're all in a human journey, are the things that I teach in my program. That's the whole basis of my guided open program, like learning the tools to remember that we just are love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming back to source.
Yeah.
It's a source of who we are.
Yeah. It's really all there is. But it's like we get to play it. Like life to me is like we're playing hide and seek with ourselves. You know that we're love, and then we forget for a minute. And then we remember. And there you are. And then something comes up, we forget. And then, oh, there you are. Remember. That's the joy of life. Like that's the whole, for me, my experience is that's the whole point. There's no point beyond that. It's just the elation and the journey of playing hide and seek with love.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Your question. Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty nice.
So tell us, describe what is like your most perfect day.
Wow, that's quite funny. My first thought is, well, I am that 8% of the population, so it's not going to look like most people's perfect day. But well, I always start my day with cacao, and I actually intentionally sit and set some intentions and just tune in, and maybe I meditate for a period of time or not. Like, I'm not perfect. But just come into myself, I also have a bit of a ritual. I've done a little bit less at this lately, but checking the human design transitory field and seeing what my experience is versus what the collective consciousness, we could call it for now. That's a whole other conversation. Yeah. But I love to experiment with what's happening with the energy on the planet versus and how that's impacting me. And then I am all about creating. So that's what being a manifestor in human design is. Like I'm here to be connected and to share my experience. And so following what's called my strategy and authority within, again, human design, I do that in every situation as best I can. I haven't had a structure or like a 9 to 5 or even a parenting structure. My youngest is 18 now, and he's homeschooled for most of his high school years.
Wow.
So structure and sort of third dimensional reality of what we should be doing has not been a thing for a really long time. So I really just do flow. I flow and I do a lot. I get really inspired and I create things, and I'm like, my perfect day is literally to be as in nature as I can. I live on the national park and quite near the beach, and just to listen and create from that place. And then share my creations. Share. Yeah. That just sounds really full. Like, sounds like a whole. So for me, I have this, like, my life is like, I'm learning. My life's lesson is to learn how to stretch a canvas so that I can keep painting. Keep painting.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. Nature.
It sounds
Definitely
like
nature.
yeah.
Sorry. I planted a new garden bed yesterday, and that was just like my joy. I was like, oh, this is going to be so miraculous. I love this.
Beautiful.
So, any of those sorts of things.
Yeah. It sounds like you're very in tune with your feminine energy. Our masculine energy is very structured and do and push, and you are really in tune with your creativity and your flow and just allowing things to happen when it's the right
That's
time.
True.
Yeah.
And thank you for that reflection. And actually, I would love to share a little piece about that, because what you don't know about me is that at the beginning of my coaching journey, I was business coaching and marketing coaching and structure. And I worked for a company that needed me to meet the KPIs of very masculine.
Yes.
And
wow.
just to loop around, it's a huge part of me softening and trusting. Trust, it's the trust. Feminine, I feel like, for me, is like, it's about the trust. Like cacao. I know it just sounds, part of me just, like, my mind says, that sounds ridiculous. You came from masculine to feminist because you changed your drink. And because I listened, of course.
Yes.
But yeah, if you'd known me 6 years ago, I was hustling. And that just, I'm sure you're not getting that now.
Yeah.
Horrible.
That's so fabulous. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the same when I started my coaching journey as well. And I had, business coaches and mentors who told me, you've got to hustle, and that term just kept coming up. And I even had one coach told me that I only needed 4 hours sleep a night. I had to be working the rest of the time. And I was like, I'm not a robot. Like, I need my rest. I need my downtime. Like, this is just going to be nuts. So it's been a journey for me to learn to step back from that and do things my way and be in my creativity and my feminine energy as well.
I feel like the trick that I was sold was, I'll be more successful, I'll be more, I'll make more, I'll look more, or whatever all those things are, if I hustle. And in all honesty, it's been the opposite.
Yeah,
it's been the opposite.
I agree. Yeah.
And what a trick.
I know, right?
Like, when that really landed for me, I was like, hang on, I'm like making more money, I'm way happier, I've got everything I could possibly want, and I don't even try anymore.
Yeah. And you can do your gardening and go to the beach and walk in nature. Yeah.
Hang out with the kids and paint and cook and love and just doesn't have to be hard. And I remember hearing that at the beginning of my journey too, from leaders in the space, and just thinking, that could not possibly be true. You have to push. You have to push. Really is like trained into us.
Yes. It? Yeah, it's full on.
Lies. All lies.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
What's the biggest thing that makes you laugh? That might be really random.
That's a great question. You're going to make me laugh just talking about it. What makes me laugh? I don't know. The one thing that comes to mind is It's just what's there, so I'll share it. I've coming into like learning so deep dive learning into the human design experiment. It kind of like has brought me into this like a bit of an alternate universe thing. You know, like it has its own jargon, its own language, and its own if you know kind of feeling. And there's a couple of people online who make really funny human design memes that's kind of like you only know if you know. And I've been joking recently about how I need to start being a memer because I actually made my first meme the other day. I'm going to share it with you. It made me laugh so hard, but you probably might not get it. I don't know. It just made me laugh so hard. It's basically a woman rolling around in the mud, and it says, "I need to get closer to nature."
I
And I was just like,
love that.
this is so me. I just need to roll around in the mud. So yeah, that's been making me laugh really hard. I keep having little meme ideas and writing them down like, oh my God, but no one else would think that's funny. But that is funny. She's literally head to toe in mud. Like, and I feel it's true for me. How can I get even closer to you, Mother?
That's brilliant.
Yeah. There you go.
I love it.
So funny.
So you've told us a little bit about your journey so far. What are you most proud of?
Oh, great questions. Thank you. Well, I'm a parent, so I am most proud of my children, of course, and of myself for parenting them for as long as I have on my own as well.
Yes.
I'll take that. Yeah. Yeah, they are 22 and 18 now, and they are beautiful, independent, creative adults that I have a beautiful relationship with. And I get to because I put in the hard yards.
Yeah.
Any parent can relate. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I'm really proud of me for them and them. Yeah.
You don't even look old enough to have a 22 and an 18-year-old. Like that's just incredible. All that cacao.
Well, part of my answer to that is usually, well, yeah, secretly I'm not. I did start young. That's the other reason I'm really proud. Because I did. Yeah. Yeah. I had my oldest when I was 18. So yeah. It's been a ride. I've veered away from telling traumatic stories. I don't feel like it's like purposeful anymore. But yeah, I have got one of those stories. It's been a big ride. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Doesn't have to be.
And your children, are they still living with you? Are they close by?
My oldest is up in northern New South Wales.
Okay.
And my younger one is actually doing his homework in the co-working next door right now.
Nice.
He's 18 and planning on leaving at the end of the year. So pretty close. Pretty close.
They have to spread their wings, don't they?
Oh, I feel excited for it. Like it's been so beautiful to watch my other one flourish, you know, and just find his way, just like we all have to. And just, you know, that journey of letting go and just being available, but not too available, and all of that. Yeah, it's been an epic part of the journey, watching them spread their wings and, you know, also seeing them through all of their struggles. It's still life. Nothing's ever perfect. That's what's so perfect about it.
Yes. Beautiful.
Thanks.
So we should wrap up fairly soon.
Good one. Done pretty well.
We have done really well. Before we do go, I want you to describe yourself in 3 words.
The pressure. So the first word that just totally popped in was love, obviously.
Yes.
I think the first description kind of covers over everything.
Yeah.
But then free. Free. Yeah, I'll give you that one. And soft, you know.
Yes.
It's kind of like soft. Like in with equal power as empowered, Soft
Yes.
power. Like that's
I
kind
would,
of what's there. It's like empowered, that can sound, I've never really resonated with that. It sounds like push. Soft and fully valuable.
yes.
So in my softness.
I fully believe there is such a massive strength in softness, in being soft, feeling
That is
soft.
the way that I mean it. It really is. It's such, we have such a weird paradigm around strength and softness. And it's like the power of softness that I mean.
Yeah.
Thank you for recognizing that. That's good.
Beautiful. Love it.
Thanks. That's fun.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been such a pleasure to get to know you a little bit more. And please do stay connected in the group.
Absolutely.
It's just, we've got some beautiful people in the group, and I love this journey of getting to know people and connecting and, sharing community. So thank you.
It's been my absolute
for showing
pleasure.
up as you.
Thank you.
And if anyone else would like to come in and have a conversation with me sometime soon, please do send me a message and let's do it. I hope you all have a beautiful day, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kat.
Blessings. Thank you.